After 9 hours, a hostage situation in Madison County comes to an end. How police made sure the overnight barricade ended peacefully.
Investigators are looking into the death of a teenager after he fell off a cell phone tower.
This is WKYT News at 4:30.
Good afternoon. Sam, Dick, and Amber Philpott reporting. We are learning more about the circumstances behind a hostage situation in central Kentucky. It lasted more than 9 hours.
That standoff started around midnight on East Hayti Road in Berea. State police say Gene Charlton held his wife and 2 children against their will. As WKYT's Caitlin Sentner reports, he never should have been at the house in the first place. It's our top story at 4:30.
I just had fallen asleep, barely, and a big bang, bang, bang on the door.
Neighbors startled early Wednesday morning when police surrounded a Berea neighborhood.
He said, "You got to get your kids out." I grabbed my kids. They said, "We'll cover you," and we crossed the street.
Neighbors were evacuated and the road blocked off after a barricade situation began just after midnight at a home on East Hayti. Negotiators talked with 51-year-old Gene Charlton for hours, trying to get him out of the house unarmed. Police say he was holding a woman, teenager, and child against their will. Neighbors say this wasn't the first sign of trouble at the home.
He went to her job and told her boss and some other people that he was going to kill everybody that helped her and kill her and the kids for leaving him.
She got an EPO against him recently. He's not supposed to be there.
Neighbors on either side of the home received text messages asking for help but didn't notice those text messages.
And I looked at it and I felt bad because I didn't get the messages, and she said, "Help me, call the police, he has a gun."
Luckily, after about 9 hours, the standoff ended peacefully. Police pulled off East Hayti with Charlton in the backseat of a cruiser, intending to charge him with kidnapping. Neighbors say even though mom and the 2 kids are okay, it's still going to be a tough time.
It's not easy on a mom when you've been with somebody for a very long time and this happens, and now you're a single mom and you're afraid for your kids and yourself.
In Berea, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
Charlton faces multiple counts of kidnapping and is also charged for violating that emergency protection order. State police are investigating the death of a teenager who died while on the job. This is video that Officer Don shot from Sky First of the tower. It's on Hog Branch Road in Morgan County. State police say 19-year-old Tyler Comer lost his balance as he reached for some tools and fell to his death. He was from Charleston, West Virginia. We have hit the middle of the week, and the humidity is really ramping up for us this afternoon.
You could really feel it out there. This will increase our rain chances as we head into the holiday weekend. Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Chris Bailey, who's not sweating yet, but give him some time.
I tell you, if you stay out long enough over the next few days, that tropical atmosphere will certainly do the job. Sweat factor is coming in a little early this year. Look outside right now. 9 live sky cams, everybody dealing with a mix of sun and some clouds. And indeed, we are seeing at least some scattered showers and thunderstorms into central and eastern Kentucky. Look at that action, though, cruising into the Bowling Green and Nashville areas. Nice little complex of thunderstorms there. Out ahead of that, that mix of sun and clouds now beginning to bubble up the atmosphere. So from London and Corbin toward Manchester, Clay County, up into Boonville, Owsley County, on top of Beattyville there into Lee County. And on the Menifee and Wolfe County line, a little thunder shower trying to pop. That extends all the way toward sections of Mount Olivet there into Robertson County. Lexington Metro, we've had a couple of sprinkles, a little shower action, though, popping here east of the Lake Reba area. Folks up around the Doylesville area, east of Red House, getting over toward Waco there along 374. Dealing with some of those widely scattered showers going up. Nice complex of storms, though, as we mentioned, west of Bowling Green. Look at the lightning showing up from the skies there. That'll try to hold together into central and eastern Kentucky. It's all about tracking steam and storms, and all apologies to the hip-hop group from way back in the early 90s, CNC Music Factory. We're going to make you sweat as we go through the next few days. Guys, back with that sweaty 7-day forecast in a few.
Thank you, Chris. Our investigative team has made the drug epidemic in Kentucky a focus during the past couple of years. Thousands in the state are affected by drug abuse, and tonight we'll hear one woman's story of recovery. At one of her low points, her 6-year-old daughter found her overdosed on fentanyl, a drug 50 times stronger than heroin.
The only thing that I remember is before waking up in the ambulance was I heard somebody say, she's been gone for 20 minutes, let's get her out of here.
Amber's at the live desk now with investigative reporter Miranda Combs with more on this story that she's working on for tonight at 6. Amber?
Sam, thank you. First of all, very brave for this woman to speak out and talk with us. How did you find her and her story?
Actually, Amber, this fell out of a story we did on the increased price of Narcan back at the beginning of the month. And at the time, I was looking for someone who had overdosed and been saved by Narcan. And it turned out the day the story was airing, I found this woman. So when I heard her story, I thought, you know what, she could stand alone as her own story, as a survivor story at this point.
Certainly, there are so many people in Kentucky that are dealing with addiction. They're dealing with recovery as well.
Yeah, and we thought it would be beneficial to hear from her. She's very raw. She tells the whole story. We sat and talked to her for a good 2 hours a couple of weeks ago. She talks about overdosing and how at one point she would just have her friends do CPR to bring her back. This one time, though, that we talk about in particular is one where her 6-year-old daughter found her in the bathroom, had to open the door with a coat hanger, very dramatic, was saved by Narcan, then went right back home and did it again. So it just is a lot of lessons for people about how hard this addiction is to break, and where she is today is amazing. I'm excited to tell the story.
You talk about her daughter having to help. I think that is unimaginable to a lot of us, but Lexington Fire tells us that's not really uncommon.
Or parents finding their kids, and their big point with this was getting across the fact that this is a ripple effect, and a lot of people suffer from this addiction. So we'll talk more about that coming up at 6.
All right, Miranda, thanks so much. Sam?
Shooting for a new movie is taking place right here in Lexington. The film Above Suspicion is based on the story of FBI agent Mark Putnam, who admitted killing a pregnant informant he had an affair with. The movie stars Game of Thrones actress Emilia Clarke. The crew started shooting by the Herald Leader near the corner of Main and Midland. Other locations in and around the city are also being considered.
The bonsai tree symbolizes life here in Japan, but many died during the atomic bombings. I'm Weijia Zhang in Hiroshima, Japan, with where one surviving tree is now thriving. Coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Well, all of a sudden, it sure looks and feels the part of summertime out there, doesn't it? A week ago, we were all complaining about how chilly and ugly the weather was, and now it is just pure summertime across Kentucky. A little look outside, Hamburg Pavilion in the distance. Notice how the clouds are trying to bubble up out there. It looks like we could get a shower or thunderstorm at any point, and that's the same sky you're going to be seeing over the next several days. Doesn't mean it will rain all the time, but that chance is going to be there. It is windy, too. Winds right now out of the southwest at 17 miles an hour, gusting much higher than that, upper 70s to low 80s. Outside of any thunderstorm action where it has rained. London, it's a cool spot, 71 degrees. Look at that big complex of thunderstorms out into western Kentucky. We'll track that in just a moment. Let's get into the central and eastern parts of the state where we're getting a couple of leading showers and thunderstorms that are kind of scattered, smothered, and covered across eastern Kentucky. We get into the Frenchburg area down toward Campton, a little bit of heavy rain. Heavy rain on the east side of Madison County. Most of that is avoiding Richmond and Berea into sections of Estill County, Powell County, southern Clark County. Yep, some of those gusty rains are rolling on through. Seeing a little shower popping here north of Paris, one to the west of Lexington over top of Versailles. It's teeny tiny right now, especially compared to this big complex of thunderstorms into western Kentucky. There's a spin here that is showing a sign that, yeah, we've got a little mini area of low pressure, super small, that is keeping those thunderstorms going, and that's typically what we can see this time of year. And all these little boundaries are floating around. You can almost see those showing up here in the clouds, and that will give us the chance over the next few days for a shower or a thunderstorm at any point. Tropical air continues to move in for the day tomorrow. Scattered storms around Friday, Saturday. Hey, it's pretty much more of the same. Scattering of thunderstorms and the juicy air across the entire area. Hour by hour, 7 o'clock this evening, we'll focus this go-around on the city of Lexington. By 11, model is trying to spit out a shower or thunderstorm in upper 60s. Those numbers level off tonight as we get in on some additional rounds of showers and storms into the day tomorrow. Doesn't mean it's going to rain all the time, but the possibility is there for a gusty shower or thunderstorm with some heavy downpours. And it is tropical outside of any raindrops that you see. What about for your Friday forecast? Temperatures into the upper 60s to start by the afternoon, into the mid 80s, and still the chance at any time the sky can open up on us as we go into our Friday. It's the same theme that you're going to hear from me for not only the next couple of days, but right on through Memorial Day. And, oh, heck, let's just keep it going into the first day of June as well. Same setup, guys, for the next week, though I do see this pattern breaking toward the end of next week. This does not mean we're heading into a hot stretch of weather by any means.
All of a sudden, I looked at the temperature gauge in my car just because I thought, you know what, it's really starting to feel warm, and it was close to 80 at that point.
Yeah, right. And last week, we were struggling to get out of the 60s for 5 days in a row. So all of a sudden, we just flipped the switch to summer.
Big change.
No spring around here. It's like we kid about fall.
Yeah.
It lasts a week and it's over.
Jump right to it.
That's it.
Thanks.
Chris. Well, among the survivors of the bombing in Hiroshima, a bonsai tree that has bridged the Japanese and U.S. cultures for decades.
And now, as President Obama prepares to visit Hiroshima, the tree's caretakers, past and present, are reflecting on what it means to both countries. Weijia Jiang reports from Hiroshima.
Yasuo Yamaki says bonsai is in his blood. His grandfather and father were both masters of the art. But Yamaki says when the atomic bomb dropped in Hiroshima 2 miles from the family's home, shards of glass pierced his 14-month-old face and damaged many of their bonsai trees. His father nursed several of them back to life, including his prized plant, this 390-year-old white pine.
Taking care of bonsai is very peaceful work.
Jack Sustick cares for the tree now at the National Arboretum in Washington, D.C. Yamaki's father gave it to the U.S. in 1975 for the bicentennial celebration.
To have Mr. Yamaki give his prized tree after what it had been through and after what the family had been through and the whole city as this symbol of peace and friendship really has meant a lot to us.
The family wanted the gift to be about peace, not war, so they didn't reveal the tree's survival story for a quarter of a century. Yamaki visited the bonsai last month. He was part of a Japanese delegation that traveled to the U.S. to ask President Obama to visit Hiroshima.
Because of that, the friendship becomes getting bigger and bigger.
Yamaki says just like the tree, Obama's trip is an olive branch. Weijia Jiang, CBS News, Hiroshima, Japan.
It's the Broadway Live Announcement 2016-2017 season. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about at the Lexington Opera House today.
It is a big night tonight for the Lexington Opera House. In a couple of hours, we will learn what shows are coming for the upcoming season.
Always exciting. Our Deanne Stevens is out and about at the Lexington Opera House with a preview. Hi, Deanne.
Yours sounds so much better than mine. Hey, good afternoon, guys. We are here at the Lexington Opera House promising you right now, we are not the entertainment for tonight, right?
No, we're the comic relief.
Yeah, exactly. Lou Ann Franklin with us, and we're talking about the big Broadway Live Announcement. This is always such a huge, huge thing happening here at the Lexington Opera House because tonight we find out what we're going to see all year long for the 2016-17 season. I'm just going to go ahead and lay it on there. You ready?
I'm ready.
Just give us a hint, at least. What are we going to see? Can you just give us anything?
Okay.
We're friends.
There's at least one musical.
For Broadway Live, there's at least one musical. This is what it's all about, what we're going to see here at the Lexington Opera House, and a chance for folks to come participate in Broadway Live. What is tonight? An opportunity for folks?
An opportunity for folks to have the first look at what we're bringing to Lexington next year. It's our big reveal. It's a wonderful show.
Yes.
A big birthday celebration as well, and an opportunity to be the first to subscribe. You can even buy your tickets for next season tonight here at the Opera House.
Let's talk about that birthday.
It is. It's our 40th anniversary of Broadway Live. And that's an accomplishment that in this beautiful little theater we can bring touring Broadway to Lexington and have done so for 40 years. And the Opera House turns 130 years old. So we have a major celebration tonight.
We also have some incredible shows you guys have brought in over the years. Talk about a few of those, and especially this last year, some of those productions that we saw.
It was an iconic year. We saw everything from Beauty and the Beast and Annie for the young folks. We had Mamma Mia, we had the producers, and we had the beautiful production of Once to finalize our season. So it's really special when I can go to New York and see the Broadway shows and know that we can bring that same talent right here to the Lexington Opera House for our community.
So true. Take advantage of that opportunity being offered to you. Tonight it is free and it is a fabulous show. Things are kicking off at 7:30 here at the Lexington Opera House, and if you want tickets, I would suggest calling now. We'll see you tonight here at the Lexington Opera House. I'm Deanne Stevens, out and about. Back to you guys.
I think we're always on the edge of our seats wondering what is coming.
She didn't give much of a hint, so we'll have to wait and see.
Right now, a Lexington girl is on a national stage outside Washington, D.C.
Tirza Shanding spelled 2 words correctly during the Scripps National Spelling Bee preliminaries. Our WKYT Washington correspondent talked to her while she waits for word on if she'll make it to the finals.
Lights, camera, spell.
Oscillometer. O-S-C-I-L-L-O-M-E-T-E-R. Oscillometer.
That is correct. That's the word that got 13-year-old Tirza Shanding of Lexington into round 3 of the Scripps National Spelling Bee. She's one of 285 student spellers from across the country who made it all the way to this annual event outside our nation's capital. What's it like to be up on that stage?
Exciting and scary and fun.
For a girl of few words, she certainly knows a lot of them.
It was a lot of preparation, a list of 400 words, and I memorized everyone.
I don't think there's much more of a high as a parent than seeing your child advance to a national competition like this.
Mom Angela couldn't be more proud. She says her entire family's love of reading drives Tirza to spell.
Well, she really does a lot of it herself. She is inspired to do it and she enjoys doing it, so I don't have to push her too much.
It's Tirza's first year here, and she says she's got a lot more spell left in her.
If I lose, I'll want to try again, and if I win, I'm going to be feeling pretty good.
In Maryland, Ted Fiorliso, WKYT.
Hope she makes it all the way. The finals will take place tomorrow. We shall see. He's not walking down the aisle, but he sure gave it his best waddle. We'll show you the special honor a school gave a classroom pet. Almost so much for spring, you know? Summer's just like right on top of us all of a sudden.
You feel that mugginess out there, just kind of you're walking into it, getting through it, Chris, and this is going to stick around with us.
Yeah, it's pretty much here for the next several days, for the next week at least, across central and eastern Kentucky. Summertime air, low 80s in many areas, except London, 73. Why are we cooler in London? Well, look at the road. Still wet here along Interstate 75, where we had a little thunder shower that passed through a bit ago. We've dropped below 80 Jackson with some nearby rains, 82 Lexington, 81 Frankfort, where we are seeing a little more sunshine out there. Defender Radar Network, scattered variety stuff. Eastern Kentucky, complex of thunderstorms into the Bowling Green area, showing signs of weakening. The farther east that it gets, we'll keep an eye on that. But overall, this is a similar scene to what we're going to be showing you each and every day right in through Memorial Day. Let's see how that late day commute is looking on the roads in Lexington and surrounding areas. Here's Officer Don.
There's a collision at Liberty and Creative. That's a non-injury crash. One lane's blocked there. Police are about to clear that, though. That's Liberty and Creative. The one at Manowar and Palumbo has been moved out of the way and takes us to our drive times. Right now, outbound to Winchester, 75 or 64 looks good, and so does US 60 for the most part. To Nicholas Hill, still holding 12 to 15 minutes. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. A foul graduation, vows renewed, and a new form of transportation. It's the video that will have you talking. Take a look at this.
Announcing Sergio, he died.
Well, you normally see ducks floating around ponds, but one Florida duck prefers center stage. Sergio is more than a class pet. He's also a graduating 6th grader. His fellow graduates at Suntree Elementary School in Melbourne say he's more like a brother than a pet, and that's why they included him in the graduation ceremony. Sergio will not, though, move on to 7th grade. He'll stay in 6th. Even though his friends are moving on, they plan to come back and visit. Sergio, of course, has his own Instagram account. Yeah, that's just what a duck has.
So go follow him, right? Two Illinois couples are proving that when they said "I do," they meant it. The couples just renewed their vows, celebrating a whopping 130 combined years of marital bliss. 74 years for one couple, 63 for the other. So, what's their secret?
Like I've always said, you got to give and take.
You give and I take.
Yeah.
I guess that's good advice, right? The foursome held a renewal ceremony with their now grown children in attendance. Congratulations.
Wonderful. And why should babies have all the fun? A Chicago stroller company built an adult-sized stroller. It's a replica of Contour's best-selling model. Parents can try it out before buying it. Contour's plans to bring the stroller around the country. All right, that's not something I would have thought of, but I guess it's not, well.
Chris Bailey's going to be asking for one of those any minute
Push
now.
the baby, push the baby.
Push him around. All right, stick with us. Here's what we're working on for you now at 5 o'clock.